Hello everyone. So today we are to go through one grammar that we just study about modal auxiliary verb. Okay, so without further delay, we just go through the next slide. So here are the content that I'm going to talk about modal auxiliary verb. The first one talk about the definition of modal auxiliary verbs. Second one, list of modal auxiliary verb. Third, structures of modal auxiliary verbs. Number 4, group of modal auxiliary verbs. And last one, we just talk about perfect modal auxiliary verbs. Okay, just let's go and see the detailed content inside this one. So, what is the definition of modal verb? So here, the first one, modal verbs are parts of the verbal phrase, like you can see from the example here. So I must get there before 8 o'clock. So which one is modal verbs? It's just here, must get. So must is just one part that assists to the main verb get. Okay, so they always accompany assist or have other verbs. So one must just assist get, the verb get in here, right? And they add abstract modal meaning like obligation, permission, or advice, etc. So I must get there before 8 o'clock. I mean, it is my obligation that I must get there. No excuse. I must get there before 8 o'clock. If I get there late, I might face some consequences or punishment regarding to that one. All right. Okay. So next, here are the list of modal auxiliary verbs. Okay, the first one, all you may already learn about can, about could, may, might, shall, should, will, would, must, and the last one ought to. But about ought to, okay, some part they just consider it as the semi-modal verb, right? Like the main part of this one, just around 9 that we call like the main modal auxiliary verb in here. Ought to, they consider it as the semi-modal verb, some part that it has need, it just have to or some part. Okay, so all those things that we call like semi-modal verb. But in here we do not try to categorize it like that one, but we just go and learn about modal auxiliary verbs so far, right? Okay, next we just go to the modal auxiliary verb structures. So what are they? This part I just want to review and clarify, and I just learned that all of you just learn it well enough in here, but this part just try to review, okay, in case that you may confuse or something. So we just go and review in detail in here. And this part is just the system that we you just learn it from the distance. So we just try to make it more detailed. Okay. Okay. So let's go and see. Okay. This part we just focus on how do we use modal verb or modal auxiliary verbs in here. Okay. Regarding to positive form, we better form it like we focus on subject. Okay, so as in here we just focus on subject plus MV just refer to modal auxiliary verb, and verb 1 that we focus on infinitive verb or base form verb, all right, and plus complement or object and so on here, right? So here the example. Okay, she must go now. So she is subject, must is MV or modal auxiliary verb in here. Go is verb 1. Okay, now which is the time expression. Okay, so it just show one obligation that she must go now. She cannot wait, right? Okay, we just move to the second form that we just use it in the negative form or negative sentence. So we just form it like this one, that we just have subjects plus modal auxiliary verb plus not plus verb 1 plus etc. or so on in here, complement or object or something. Okay, so example, she must not go now. It's no obligation for her to go now. So she is subject, must is modal verb, modal auxiliary verb, not is not, okay, go is verb 1 or infinitive verb in here. Okay, so far something simple on this one. Okay, the third form of this one we call like a question form. Sorry, ignore this one. Okay, so question form. So we form question form like WA questions. It's optional. Some part you can also form with the modal auxiliary verb directly in case you just want to form the yes no question with yes no answer. So we can start with modal auxiliary verb plus subject plus verb 1 and so on in here. Okay. Or you can form it with WA question. It's okay as well. The same form in here, right? So example. So why is WA question? Why must she go now? So must is modal auxiliary verb. She is subject. Go is verb 1. Okay, something here. So all these things just the brief example of the structure or how to use modal auxiliary verb in the sentence in 3 different forms in here, mean positive, negative, and question. Okay, if you have some question, you can comment or raise it up in the other part. I will try to go through it and explain you. Okay, through Google Classroom or something is fine. Okay, move to the next slide. Okay, so part number 2, we will focus on, okay, modal verbs are used with infinitives without to, or we can call like bare infinitives with the exception of ought to. So we can say that like all the other part they don't need to, but except ought to that need the to in here, originally in here. So you just remember this one that we just use modal auxiliary verb with infinitive verb without to, all right? Or we can call like bare infinitive with the exception only without to, all right? Okay, next one. You can see in the example like, okay, we must get there before 6 a.m. So you see must and get, not must to get, must get there before 6 a.m. The other one, she should study harder. She should study harder. You see, she should study, right? So modal verb and infinitive verb, this one, all right? The other one, I ought to go home now. I ought to go home now. You see? So to here is just the exception for ought to. It is originally like this one. Okay. Okay, how to is started with modal verbs, modal auxiliary verb, but it's not a pure modal verb as it needs auxiliary verbs and has an S form in the third person singular. Like I have to, she has to, or he has to, or something. So we just change the form. So like I mentioned earlier, we can say how to is considered as the semi-modal verb, but it's just in the family as modal auxiliary verb as well, but it's just the semi, like similar to ought to as well. Okay, so something in here. So in short one. Next. Okay, the third one, the structure of modal auxiliary verbs. Okay, we do not add as or es to the third person singular. Okay, third person singular. They are invariable verbs, right? So whenever we use it with the verb no need to add as or es in here to the third person singular. They are invariable verbs. We can say, see in the example, like she can swim. You see, she can swim, not she can swim. Okay, not she can swim. So you cannot add as to can in here. Okay, the next one. They don't need auxiliary verb to form short answers or negatives and question sentences. They don't need auxiliary verbs to form short answers or negative and question sentences. What is auxiliary verb? Like to be, to have, and to do, right? That one that we call like auxiliary verb. Okay. Example, she couldn't eat salt. She couldn't eat salt. She doesn't should eat salt. Is it correct, this one? Okay, you can consider this one for a while. The next one, may I have you? Yes, you may. Is it correct, this one? Okay, thinking for a while. Do I may have you? Yes, you do. Is it correct? So among the four, which are the correct sentences with modal auxiliary verbs in here? Can you guess? Number 1, 2, 3, or 4 in here. So the correct sentences are yes, only she shouldn't eat salt. May I have you? Yes, you may. So this one we can see like why the other two are wrong. You can see this one. So doesn't in here, it is the auxiliary verb. Okay, do the same thing. Yeah. So those things. So that's why these two are wrong sentences. Okay, so I just want to clarify a little bit. Okay, next one. Number 5. They do not have infinitives or ing form. They do not have infinitives or ing forms. So you can see the two examples here. Is it correct? Yeah. Is it correct? How do you sing? Canning and to might. Is it write down in the sentence like this one? Is it correct? The answer is they are not. So no infinitives, not to might, to can, to could or something, right? Or mighting, maying or something. No, it cannot be used in here, all right? Let's move to the next one. Let's move to number 6. Modal verbs do not have all the tenses. They use other verbs to complete the tenses in here. So it cannot use with all other tenses in English in here. So they actually need the other verb to use. So let's go and see. Like can. Sometimes we just use it in the present, and when I move to the past, we can use could or be able to or something in here. So you can see, like they can swim now. So can. So we just use it to one. She will be able to swim next year. So they can swim now. You see? They can swim now. She will be able to swim next year. So why we do not use she will can swim next year? It's impossible on here, right? We cannot use two modal auxiliary verb in the same sentence here. So we need be able to, right? Be able to have it as one. So she will be able to swim next year. So this part, okay? She will. She cannot now. She cannot swim now, but she will be able to swim next year. Okay, this is the reason. Must and had to. Example, she must come early. Okay. You had to come early yesterday. Okay, when we use it in the past, we just change must to had to. We cannot use the form of the past form in here. So we just change it to had to, right? Had to mean must in the past. Okay. So briefly about this one, and let me just move to groups our modal auxiliary verbs in here. So what are they? How can we group them? So we are to study them from 2 points of view. Here, numbers or meaning are concepts that they express. Single or double concepts are expressed in here. Or meaning, we can say. The second one, modal meanings that they express, like permission, ability, obligation, and so on. So those things. So we're going to discuss and talk about all them in detail in the following slide. Okay, so here, number meanings. The same modal verbs can have different meanings depending on the context. You got the same modal verb can have different meaning depending on the context. Okay, we can say they may have different meaning just based on the context. So when we use it in different contexts, they may have different meaning. For example, may I come in? So may I come in here mean what? It's just polite way that you just ask permission to come in. Or you can see like it may rain tomorrow. So this part does not mean the same thing. The same to the first may. It may rain. It just talk about the possibility that it may rain or the rain may shooting to the earth the following day, for example, right? So the same thing, but it has made a different meaning. The second one, we can make two categories. The first one, single concept modals These modal verbs has one meaning, so we will categorize them into two different parts in here. And the other one, just double concepts modals, they have two meanings. So we will see it, them in detail. Okay, so this part may be quite new and it might be a little bit different from your textbook. We can say this part I will try to categorize in order to let you see it obviously. That in the book they will try to categorize based on the meaning of modal meaning, we can see. So in here, just go and see it briefly. Okay, and later on you can compare the differences between this slide and your textbook, right? Okay, and I hope that it may show you a different way to learn about modal auxiliary verbs in here. Okay, so in here we just have, okay, this side, all of these verbs which I call it like, it just have only a single concept like will, might, or should. It just work based on only one concept or meaning. And this side, they will focus on double concepts like may, must, would, can, and could in here. So all of them may be used in different context with different meaning. Okay, they just have two all double meanings anyway. All right. So just go and see it later on. Okay, so you can see the single concepts modal auxiliary verbs in here. Like here, you see modal modal verbs, modal auxiliary verbs, concepts, and example of this one. So will, it talk about future, the meaning of future. Dina will visit London some days. Okay, so Dina will visit London someday. Not now, right? He will go and visit London someday later. Might, okay, might, about the concept that it just represented here, it just talk about probability. Okay, probability, it might happen or it might be true. He might see Dara. Okay, so since he and Dara, it might be on the same flight or something, for example. So he might see each other there, all right? But it's not actually true, all right? The other part is just talking about should. Should that talk about advice? It show about advice. Advice. He should wear comfortable shoes. Okay, it's just the advice. The advice of someone just suggest, just give advice to wear the comfortable ones. The shoe might not really be beautiful or pretty enough, but it feel comfortable to wear. Okay, so something in here. So this is the kind of modal verb that belong to single concepts and the example, right? We should move to the next one. Move to, okay, right now we should move to double concepts modal auxiliary verbs. So what are they? So you can see may. So may can use it to talk about permissions. Like may I come in? Like you just ask permission to come in into the room or to the classroom. For example, when you come late to the class, you may ask your teacher or lecturer, may I come in? And sorry, something in here. All right. So those things. And the other part may also use it to talk about probability. Okay. I may go to London next summer. Next summer. You see? I may go to London next summer. It's a probability. Okay. It's a possibility that it might be used. Okay. Next, okay, we just talk about must. Must also use it for two concepts. The first one is just about obligation. Student must wear uniform. So if you are the student of PPIU, you must wear the uniforms, for example. All right? It is your obligation. Whenever you are, or we can say, student must wear ID card. Okay? No matter you are studying in the morning shift, afternoon or evening, you must wear your uniform whenever you got the area of PPIU or the building of PPIU, for example. That is your obligation. And the next one, we just talk about certainty. They must be at home. The lights are on. So I am sure that they are at home now, since the lights turn on. I can see it there. Okay, I am quite sure with this one. Okay. The next one just about would. Would the same thing. The first one I just talk about conditional. I would visit London if I had enough money. If I had enough money now, I would go and visit London. But it's I I do not have enough money. I still cannot go. Okay. So whenever I had enough money for my flight, for my trip, my expense during the traveling, I I would go and visit London. All right. The next one is just would to talk about habitual past action. We just talk about the thing that happened repeatedly in the past. For example, when I was a child, I would go swimming every day. You got it? But right now it is impossible. You need to go and work. I would go swimming every day. Okay. So when you were a child, when you were a child, sometimes you want to be an adult. Okay, but when you become adult, you just want to be a child. Since a child, you don't need to think too much. You need to go and take responsibility everywhere. So sometimes it's just like this one. Okay, so would can use to talk about conditional and habitual past action, as you can see from the two examples, right? Okay, next we should move to other modal verbs. Okay, so could used to talk about the first one about probability. That could be him. He said had phone, or he had phone, right? So this one. So it might be him in the condition, the appearance, and what he said is just the same. So the speaker just assumed that that's one just a guy that they had any appointment without knowing each other before, so they can assume like this one. Okay. The other one, could the same thing can talk about past ability. I could play the trumpet when I was 10. Okay, it's just past ability, but currently not really there. Okay, the more you practice, the more better you are. All right, but the more you give it away, the more you forget it. So no more. Okay, so jump to can just talk about permission. Student can wear t-shirts. Can wear t-shirt. So when you have like this one, everyone can wear it. It's no matter. All right. Permission. You just talk about permission. Can also can use it to talk ability. They can swim. You see, they can swim. They did a course last summer. Okay, quite sure they have the strong abilities and they take a course. They took a course last summer. That's why they can swim. Okay, so can use to talk about permission and ability. How about can't? Can't. The first one I just talk about impossible. Okay, which I have possibility, probability or something. In here we also use it to talk about impossibility, about can't. They can't be at home. They left yesterday. Okay, so now I'm quite sure that they left yesterday, so they can't be at home now. Okay, next, can't can be used to talk about no permission. They can't be at home. It's not their house. So whenever the house is not belong to them, I am sure that they can't be at home. Okay, so in short, one that we just show you about the single concept and modal auxiliary verb. Single and double concepts are modal auxiliary verbs in here, so you can compare the different thing in here. Okay, so we will talk and discuss about those 7 things in a detail with the example in the next slide. Let's go and see. Ability, we can use can, could, and be able to talk about those things. About present, we can use can. 2 of my friends can play the guitars. You see, 2 of my friends can play the guitars. Past, we use could. When he was a child, he could ski well. Okay, but right now, not really, right? Okay, about possibility. How about ability at the tenses with be able to? You can see. Example, next week, they'll be able to vote. Okay, next week, they will be able to vote. So something in here that you can talk about ability, right? Next, let's go to the next slide. Okay, one more example. We haven't been able to go on holiday this year. We haven't been able to go on holiday this year. What time is it? What time is it? This one and this one. The next one. We would be able to do it. We would be able to do it. So what are the tenses in here? Can you guess? Can you try? Okay, so the first one is, what time is it? It is talking about the future. How about the second one? We haven't been able to go on holiday this year because of COVID-19. So what's that? Present perfect ability. How about the last one? It is about the conditional. We would be able to do it. Okay, so here are the example and different tenses with ability. So let me move to the next one. We should talk about obligation. Okay, obligation. We just go. So in present, we just use must. Applicants must answer the questions. So this one you see like your obligation. So if you want to pass the exam or pass the interview, you must answer the question. No answer, you may not pass. Other tenses including present, how to. Okay, so I had to study hard this year. Means your obligation that you have to study. Your obligation. If you don't study hard, you may not pass the national exam or something, or baccalaureate or something. So those things. I will have to work hard as lawyers. Okay, if the lawyer, if you will not have to work hard, so what happens as a lawyer? Okay, you may charge, you may complete the case with the wrong thing. For example, I have had to stay at home lately. We can say, okay, that is about your obligation. Currently, everyone must have to uh, have had to stay at home as well because of what? Because of coronavirus. So that's why it's just one obligation. Even though you want how to, but currently in the city it's just quiet. You cannot go. You cannot go out. Even learning, we just keep learning from the distance. Okay, to be safe, stay at home. Okay, so all these things is just the example, and the term is the obligation as modal meaning in here. So let we move to the next slide. Necessity or no necessity. Positive form need to is not a modal verb. You can see this one we call like semi-modal verb actually. You need to do this to pass the subject. You need to complete all of the exercise or homework to pass the subject, pass the upper intermediate for sophomore second in here. Is it right? If you don't complete, if you don't go and read the instruction or exercise in the Google Classroom, you may fail up the subject in here. Actually, it's true. Okay, it's about negative form, needn't. No obligation. It means it's just equal don't have to. But normally this one is just rarely used, we can say. That we commonly use and seen in here, don't have to. Like you needn't do it. You don't have to do it. Okay. So you don't do it mean you don't have to do it. It's not your necessity to do it, right? Which one you prefer to use? It's okay. What question form about need? Need I do this? Okay, it is a rare case as well. Sometimes we just use like, do I need to do this? All right, the common question that we normally heard. Okay, so briefly, all this one I just use it to talk about necessity and need to. You can say it like it is not a family. It's not the main modal auxiliary verb, but we just categorize it like semi-modal verbs in here. All right. Advice. We just talk about advice. Like you can use ought to, shouldn't to express advice or recommendations. So whenever you want to speak or give advice or recommendation to someone, you can use ought to, should, or shouldn't. This one. Example: candidates should be friendly. Candidates should be friendly. Okay, for example, if you just apply to be the customer service, if you go and with the front eye, the fronting most of the time, for example, so you may not possible to pass the test because you must be friendly actually, right? You shouldn't worry too much about exams. You shouldn't worry too much about exams. So you will pass. You read the book, you do and complete all the exercise, quizzes, you will pass the course. All right. Candidates ought to be friendly. Okay, it's just the same thing to the previous one. Okay, it's the same meaning in here. Candidates should be friendly and ought to be friendly is the same thing, right? Okay, to move to the next one about possibility. Let's go and see. Present and future may not, might, or mightn't, or could. that we use it to talk about the possibility. It may be times for Linda to go. It may be times for Linda to go. So it is a possible time, a possibility for Linda to go, but if she want to, right? They might choose Danny. They might choose Danny, but we are not sure about this part. Is this one? They could be on a trend. They could be on a trend. You see, so it is show about the possibility, but we are not sure that they are on this one. But it might be it possible for this part. Okay, in the past form, we just use may, might, could plus have plus past participle that we may call it like a perfect modal auxiliary verbs in here. All right, that we will talk about it later. Okay, in the next part. Example: he might have received our message. He might have received our message. Okay, but it's just the possibility that it might happen in the past, but in the reality, it it did not happen. He did not receive the message in here. All right. Okay, we should move to the next one, just about certainty and logical education. Okay. About positive, we just use math. Okay, this part we can use to talk about certainty and logical deduction. All right, certainty or logical deduction. So in positive, we just use must. Like for example, it must be quite late because it's getting dark. It must be quite late because it's getting dark. So to do things, okay, it is impossible on here. So it show about the certainty. You cannot do something in the dark. All right. The negative, we just use can't. That can be true. Okay. That can be true. So you may have a question why we don't use mustn't true. Okay, that since we just talk about certainty, so we just use can't rather than mustn't. A must not in here. All right. Or we can say like a logical deduction. Okay. Next, let's move to the last part of this slide or this lesson about modal auxiliary verb that we call like modal auxiliary verbs plus perfect infinitive. Let's go. When they refer to the past, certain meaning must be expressed with a modal auxiliary verbs plus perfect infinitive. Have plus past participle in here. So when we refer to the past, great. So the past certain meaning must be expressed with a modal auxiliary verbs plus perfect infinitive. Have, or you can see the form in here like have plus past participle. We have the modal verb. For example, must have broken. For example, it's just the other part that we can say in here. You can see the example, the listing three different things in here that we will go and talk about three different category about the modal auxiliary verb plus perfect infinitive, like a certainty or logical deduction, that we may talk about the positive and negative that recently you have also seen in the example in the last part. A possibility, advice, and recommendation. Okay, we should go and talk about the three category more. Okay, about certainty or logical deduction, you can see in here, positive must have plus past participle. Okay, example, Danny must have felt disappointed when he didn't win the prize. Okay, must have felt disappointed when he didn't win the prize. You see? Okay, certainty. Actually, right, when we fail something, we may feel disappointed. We can introduce one. Okay, can't have plus participle. You can see here. She can't have passed the exam. She didn't study at all. Okay, she can't have passed the exam. She didn't study at all. She can't have passed. You see, whenever she did not, it is about logical deduction. You see what the result is? What? Actually, the result, she passed or she did not pass. She passed, but okay, the result showed that she passed. Did you get it? Okay, she can't have passed the exam. She didn't study at all. The result means she passed. All right, but it is not logical. We can say not logical since she did not study hard or go to school, but she still passed. Okay, so this one just talk about logical deduction. Okay. If you have any question, just comment through Google Classroom. I will try to answer you there. Okay, next. Multiple possibility. When we talk about possibility about the past, we can use might, may, could, plus, have, plus participle. Let's go and see the example. They might have received our message. They might not have received our message. Might not have received our message. Okay. Whether they receive it or not, actually they may receive. All right. He may have gone to the cinema. He may have gone to the cinema. So what's that? Okay, it's just one possibility. All right. The next, the government could have acted more quickly. The government could have acted more quickly regarding to the problem of coronavirus or COVID-19 in here, for example. Okay, currently, actually, our government just have acted quickly regarding to this one since we just study from the distance. All right. So there is the possibility way to stop the pandemic or outbreak of corona. It's just the example. All right. Okay. Let me move to the next one. Advice or recommendation. So when we express criticism or regret about a past action, we can use should or shouldn't. Linda shouldn't have talked so much. Linda shouldn't have talked too much. Okay, I mean, Linda don't want to talk to, and she may face a problem with that talkative thing in here. All right. Okay, we should have gone to see that film while it was still at the cinema. We should have gone to see that film while it was still on at the cinema. It might be should not miss and to go and try to find out it later is even possible there, right? Okay, so this one is just a recommendation. Better try to go and find it somewhere. Just go right now. It's easy. Spend less save time. Save some more time to go into it. Okay, so my presentation or this slide about the Modal Webs just come to the end. So if you have some question, just let me know regarding to this one. So If you have some question, just give the comment in the Google Classroom or in the comment of this video. I will try to answer those things, right? So actually about modal auxiliary verb, which I use it okay, in different way, which I try to categorize it. But in this video, I did not categorize between what are the difference between modal verbs and semi-modal verbs in here. And the other part, I just try to categorize based on each modal verb that we can say. So generally, there is one modal auxiliary verb which have single concepts that is just to show that some modal verb it just have only one single meaning, but the other they may have more than one meaning. Okay, like we have studied so far, there are only 3 that has only one, single concept, and the other 6 which have 2 different concepts in here. So the same modal verbs, when we use it in different contexts, they may come up with different meaning in here. All right. So in short one, okay, thank you very much for watching, listening, and if you have some question, please let me know and leave your comment, and I will try to answer all the questions. Thank you very much. Good luck and take care during this outbreak or pandemic of coronavirus. Thank you.